Hello, this is Robin from Cowboy Studio. Today we're here to talk about the NiceFoto 680 and 480A battery-powered handheld strobe. This strobe gives you all the power of a studio strobe in a handheld form that you can take on the road with no cords. The 680A has a guide number of 68. The 480A has a guide number of 56. The power range on this unit can be set to full to 1/64th power in one-stop increments. Or you can also set the power by setting the flash duration. You can set the flash duration in 5 steps from 1/2000th of a second to 1/11,000th of a second. This is really helpful when you're trying to really stop the motion in a photo. It also has a multi-flash capability that can fire at different speeds multiple times in one trigger. The unit has an LED modeling light so that it consumes less power and is easier on your battery when you're out in the field, but you can still have a modeling light. It has built-in wireless remote capability, a sync port, and optical slave, so there's 3 different ways to trigger this. You can either use it handheld, it's got a built-in handle, or you can set it on a light stand like I have it here. The unit comes with a Bowens mount, so we have numerous accessories like snoots, soft boxes, and beauty dishes that can be used on this unit. It has a maximum recycle time of 5.5 seconds at full power and as little as 1/10 of a second at lower powers. Now, what does this include? It comes with the flash. We also have a nice metal carry case with a shoulder strap. It comes with the battery, a charger. The reflector is also included. Here we can see the reflector, and the reflector comes with a diffuser. We also get a trigger for the hot shoe of your camera and the shoulder strap for the unit, which has its own built-in mounting here. If you want to use this handheld, you simply take out the lock. It's got a string built on so you don't lose it. And for storage, it screws right into the slot where the light stand mount. Okay, let's take a look at how to set up the flash to work with your camera. One of the things you'll receive is this transmitter. This is made to go on top of your camera, and the flash itself has a wireless receiver that's made to work with this, so there's nothing you have to attach to the flash. First thing you want to do is make sure that the channels that the flash and the trigger are on are the same. In this case, I've got all switches set down so these two can talk to each other. You can use any combination of switches that you like. You just need to make sure that they're the same. The only reason you really use different channels is if there's another similar flash in the area or you're receiving some sort of other type of interference. Now, simply take the trigger, slide it into the hot shoe of your camera, lock it down, and turn the trigger on. So there's off and on. It does come with a battery. Battery compartment is right here. It takes what's called a 23A battery. This will need to be replaced occasionally, but generally lasts quite a while. Now, setting the flash. Right up under here, under the front of the unit, is the on-off switch. Here's our window to see how we've got the flash set. I'll just go through the buttons. We have our modeling light, This turns on the LED. You can see here that it's turned on and off. Next we have our test button. This will test fire the flash. We have our sensor button, and this turns on and off the optical slave. The menu button, this will take us through the other settings, and each of the settings will be controlled by the up and down button. Right now we're in standard manual flash mode. 1/1 is full power. We can use the up and down buttons here to control the power of the flash. 1/64 is the lowest power. It will cycle through, so if you keep going down, then it goes back to full power. The next step, if we press our menu button again, is the FP mode. Well, this lets us control the power of the flash in terms of flash speed. So, FP5 is the slowest. That is at 1/2000th of a second. We'll go all the way up to FP, which is the fastest, and that's 1/11,000th of a second. This next step is that it actually takes two steps. This takes us through the multi-flash modes. The first one will be setting the hertz, which is the number of flashes per second, and that ranges from 1, I believe it will, to 10 flashes per second. So in this case we've got 10 flashes per second. And the other setting is the number of flashes total. So that can be set to 5, 10, 15, or 20. So you just simply press the menu button again. Here we've got it set to 5, then 10, 15, and 20. So, and it also goes to 25. So here, I've finally got it set. I'm going to do 10 flashes per second, a total of 5 flashes. So if I press the test button, that's what we get. Lasts a total of a half a second. Our next setting simply turns the beeper on and off. So here we indicate we've got our beeper turned off. Now it's turned on. This indicator is showing us our battery power. You'll notice if you do a test or you fire the flash, the battery power will drop while the unit is recycling. Once it's completed recycling, then it'll go back to its true power level. Okay, let's take a look at a few other features of the flash. Right here, we have an umbrella mount. You simply slide the umbrella down through here, and this locks it into place. To mount accessories, you have a locking mechanism here. Simply lock that, do a slight twist of the accessory, and you can pull it out. And here you can see your flash tube and your modeling light. The diffuser comes off the reflector. So if you want to use it without the diffuser, you can. This is the optical slave. So if you want the flash to fire using another flash to do it, you simply turn the optical slave on. If you have something plugged into the sync port, here, the optical slave will be disabled. Earlier, I think I showed you, you have a shoulder strap. The shoulder strap simply mounts right here. To remove the battery, on each side of the battery, there's little buttons. Press those in, and the battery lifts straight out. The battery has to be out of the unit to charge. The power charger plugs in right here. To insert a new battery, just slide it in place and make sure it locks down. The handle has a tilting mechanism Simply unlock it here, and that allows you to tilt the flash, and then it'll lock in place. If you want to use another triggering system with this flash, say you already have your own system in place and you want to continue to use that, that's perfectly fine. The flash has a sync port here. You simply plug your trigger into the port. In this case, I'm using one of our 4-channel systems. I have the trigger here. And you can see I simply press the test button on this trigger and the flash fires. Of course, that can be done with the trigger on your camera as well. When you're using this flash with your camera, in this case I have the NiceFoto trigger in place. You generally want your camera in manual mode. You make sure that your shutter speed is at or below the sync speed for your camera, and that will vary by camera. It's typically in the 1/200th of a second range or slower. And you have to set your aperture to determine your exposure. But once you've done all that, I have my trigger turned on, the camera's ready, I simply press the shutter and the flash fires. Well, I hope that answers any questions you may have had about the NiceFoto 680A and 480A handheld flash. Thank you for shopping at Cowboy Studio.